everyone, I'm Nicole and I'm back with a March wrap-up for what I read and an April TBR. So let me go ahead and get started. A few of these I had already mentioned in my January-February wrap-up and my March TBR because we were already kind of a week into March when I filmed that. So you may have seen a few of these before. I'm just going to go through them quickly. The first one that I read in March was Deadly Little Lessons by Laurie, Faria, Stolarz. This is the 5th book in the Touch series. This is one of my favorite series. I really enjoy it. I liked this installment a lot. It wasn't my favorite book in the series, but it was really good and entertaining, and I enjoyed reading it. The next one that I read is The Boyfriend List by Lockhart. I listened to this on audiobook on my commute to and from work, and then I was curious to find out what happened, so I read the rest in this paperback copy that I had. This is the first book in the Ruby Oliver series, so I'll definitely be picking up the other books that come after this one because I thought this was really cute and a lot of fun. And next we have Etiquette and Espionage by Gail Carriger. She is the author of the Parasol Protectorate series for adults, which is sort of a steampunk fantasy series. I haven't actually read those yet, but I've heard really good things about them. And this book is the first in the series for young adults, finishing school, book the first. So I thought this was a lot of fun. I really liked the steampunk boarding school setting. It was sort of like a Gallagher Girls book set in Victorian England, I guess. It wasn't quite as good as I hoped. I thought it could have been better, but it was still really fun, light reading, and I will definitely be getting the other books in the series when those come out. This one was one of my favorite books I read in March. It is Lock and Key by Sara Dessen. I listened to this mostly on audiobook. I happen to own a paperback copy as well, so I read a little bit of the paperback in between listening to the CDs. I thought this was fantastic. I love all of Sara Dessen's books. You really can't go wrong with anything that she writes, and Lock and Key was no different. Just really, really interesting, really sweet story about family and relationships and self-discovery, I guess. So I would highly recommend this one if you haven't already read it. And the next one I read, I don't have a copy with me. I borrowed it from the library. It is Frostburn by Patricia Briggs, which is the 5th book in the Mercy Thompson series, which is an adult paranormal series. It's really good, and I thought the 7th book, Frostburn, was awesome. It was one of the best, I would say, additions to the series. All the books are good, but I just thought this one was really exciting. It was different than the other books. It was a page turner, so I loved it, and I would definitely recommend that one also. 2 thumbs up. The next one I read, Every Day by David Levithan. This one has been getting buzz for a while now, and I finally read it because the other teen librarians that I work with, we were going to have a little book discussion meeting, and I ended up not making it to the meeting, but I did read the book, and I loved it. It is fantastic. It's about a person named A who wakes up in a different body and a different life every day. And usually he tries not to disturb, I guess, the person's life that he's in for that day. He tries not to make waves, but one day he meets a girl named Rhiannon, I think is her name, and he falls in love with her, and so that sort of changes his whole way of being. So every day after that he's trying to figure out a way to get himself to her. So it was really, really good. If you like books like The Time Traveler's Wife, I think you would probably really like this as well. I can't tell if there's going to be a sequel. It sort of left it open that there could be, but you know, there wouldn't have to be. It wraps up enough at the end where it wouldn't have to have a sequel, but I would definitely be happy to read one if there was. The next book I read in March is a graphic novel. I don't have it with me. Again, I borrowed it from the library. It is called War Brothers by Sharon E. McKay, and it was really, really good. It is about the child soldiers in Coney's army who are ripped away from their families and their lives and put through just really brutal treatment and made to be soldiers. And it was just really interesting. It was really eye-opening. And I know she has an actual novel by the same title, War Brothers. I haven't read that yet. I just had ordered the graphic novel for our teen collection and I wanted to read it before I put it out. But the graphic novel was great, and I think it will make the topic really accessible to a lot of readers. So I would recommend that one also. And the next book that I'll tell you about, I started in March, but I actually finished it just a few days ago at the beginning of April. It was an advance copy, so the book is not out yet, and it is called The Fifth Wave by Yancey. I don't have the book anymore, but I have the envelope that the advance copy came in, so let me grab that. I thought I would grab this so you could see kind of what the cover looks like. Fans of the Hunger Games, any dystopian novels, sci-fi fans are all really, really going to love this. It is super creepy, it's suspenseful, it's action-packed. It is about an alien invasion on Earth, but so far they've just caused catastrophes. The aliens themselves haven't landed or anything. So it's very much a survival story, and the main character is a girl named Cassie, who has made a promise that she's going to rescue her little brother Sammy. They've been separated, and she promised him that she would find him and rescue him. And so she is determined to survive and to save her little brother. And so she's just a really cool, kick-butt, admirable kind of heroine. So I really enjoyed reading about her. And this comes out May 7th, so you'll definitely want to grab a copy of this if you like dystopia. Finally, I've read one more book this month, which I'll go ahead and mention. It's another graphic novel called Relish by Lucy Knisley, I guess is her name. It's the story of her growing up with foodie parents and growing up in kitchens and her love of gourmet food, and also kind of her coming of age as an artist. And it was really, really good. It was really cute. If you like Smile or Drama by Raina Telgemeier, I think you would probably really like it. I think it's actually written for adults, but it's totally appropriate for teens too. It was just really fun, really enjoyable. So that's it for what I read in March and a little bit of April. And now I'll show you a few more things that I hope to read in April. The first is another advance copy that I was lucky enough to get from Little Brown. Sometimes they'll post on a listserv that I'm subscribed to and offer to send out advance copies, and so I always try to email them as quick as I can so that I can get one of the copies. And this one is The Lucy Variations by Sara Zarr, and I absolutely loved How to Save a Life by Sara Zarr. It was one of my favorite books that I read last year, and so I was really, really excited to get a copy of this. And as you can see, I've started it. I'm a little ways in. It's very good so far, and I hope to finish that this month. Another one that I wanted to read this month is a fantasy called Poison, and this is by an author whose name was Bridget Zinn, and I heard about her story on my listserv as well. She was a librarian, and this was her first novel, and unfortunately she got cancer and she actually passed away about 2 years ago, so she never got to see her book published, but I've heard that it's really, really good. It's got a really adorable cover. We've got this really cool looking heroine on the front and then a little pink piggy down there, so I'm interested to see how that comes into play. So hopefully that will be a good one. And finally, this is another one that I'm reading now. It's called A Corner of White by Jaclyn Moriarty, and she is one of my favorite authors. She's an Australian author. She wrote The Year of Secret Assignments and The Murder of Bindi McKenzie and Ghosts of Ashbury High and Feeling Sorry for Celia, I think, is also hers. Anyway, those are really, really good books. If you haven't read those, check them out. And this is another one. This is her newest one, so I'm really excited about it. I am about 100 pages in, and it's really cute so far. It's sort of magical and whimsical, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where that one goes. And finally, the last thing that I'm currently reading is I'm reading the third book in the Game of Thrones series. It's called A Storm of Swords, and I am just over halfway through, but those are huge books. They all have just under 1,000 pages, I believe, so that one's taken me a while. I've been reading it for several weeks, and I'll probably be reading it for a couple more. So I haven't been finishing as much as I usually do, but it's really, really good. I love it. I love the show, and I've loved the books. So yeah, that's pretty much where I am right now for March and April, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have read and enjoyed and add to my growing TBR pile and see what you have coming up this month. So thanks for watching. Bye!